Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I am coming at you today in this episode with a very last minute topic. I had an episode planned to edit today and roll out in the morning that would go out, and I don't even remember what the topic was, but I loved it. It's so good, and I'll probably put it out next week. But I have been checking in with my ladies, and this is the week after Thanksgiving for those who celebrate, but if not Thanksgiving, then you celebrate something, whereas you've felt the way I'm going to explain in this episode, and these tips will definitely help you as well. But I have been checking in with my one-on-one clients, checking in with different groups on my app of clients that I have, my Facebook group, and just talking to a lot of ladies this morning. Like I said, it's after Thanksgiving, it's after a Thanksgiving weekend, a holiday weekend where we've all been off track and family stuff and no routine, and there's just food and snacks everywhere. And this morning, as I was checking in with my clients, I was reminded how much of a struggle it is to get back on track. And I really remember those days for myself being so difficult after a holiday, the day itself, where I thought it's okay to, go crazy and eat a little bit too much. And then the next day I felt, or even later that day, felt super guilty. I've talked about this before in different episodes, but I've been there where I've felt like, wow, I really fucked up and I shouldn't have eaten that much on the holiday. But then it not only happens on that holiday, you have the leftovers, or then you have a holiday party 2 days after the holiday, and things just kind of keep escalating and keep going. And I remember feeling like I fell off track. I'm doing air quotes right now. You can't see that, but that's what I always felt like, was that I fell off track and I have to get back on track the next weekend. And that is exactly what's happening today as I'm doing one-on-one client check-ins, and I'm kind of asking ladies like what their plans are for the week. What are you thinking about today? And it's a resounding like, holiday's over, I'm going back to work and I have to get back to the grind and I'm behind on work. And for me and a lot of moms, families, this is the start of basketball season, winter sports season. So schedules are changing. Just things are definitely changing this week for a lot of us. And I've had a lot of my clients talk about that too. But I really want to keep this focused on the week after a holiday, basically how to get back on track. And I just talked about this a few episodes ago on how to get back on track after like a weekend away or after traveling. And it's some of the same tips can apply, but there's so much on social media, I feel like, about how to get back on track after a holiday weekend, or even how to spend a holiday. I've seen all the tips, and like, just, let's take Thanksgiving specifically. So on Thanksgiving, choose one meal that you're going to go all out in. So save all your calories for dinner and eat Thanksgiving dinner and then don't eat again. Or you hear like, it's a free-for-all, it's a holiday, go crazy, enjoy yourself, don't worry about it, enjoy your family, food is everywhere, take it in, and then get back on track on Monday. Or there's, people that say like, just, I'm big on prioritizing protein as well, but other coaches will say just, stick to your plan. Don't go off track. Have the turkey, have the potatoes, but that's it. Like, very, very much stick to your routine. Fill your containers, if you will. Hit your macros. Get all your workouts in. Be perfect. So you have all of these ideas of how you feel, right? Your favorite influencer, your favorite person on the internet telling you exactly what to do on these holidays. And maybe some of them have resonated and you thought, okay, I can save all my calories for dinner and I can have my favorite foods for Thanksgiving. That sounds like it'll work for me. But maybe it doesn't so much. And I had a lot of clients who thought they went out of town for the holidays or they just went to family for the holidays and they thought they were going to be able to stay on track with their food. Even if that meant like going crazy on Thanksgiving Day, but the rest of the week staying on track and not missing a workout. Like they took their weights with them on vacation and they had the workouts on the app from me and they were really, really, really going to stick to their plan. And they didn't. Like things fell apart. There were drinks, there were food, there wasn't a place to work out. There was a lot going on. Their kids were crazy. Someone got sick. There's, 15 people in the house that they rented, whatever the case may be. And it just didn't happen. So I know a lot of you, and I can remember feeling this same way. This week, a lot of you are feeling guilty. And I've had a couple of my clients today say they were going to double up on workouts this week to make up for the shitty week that they did last week. Or they're going to cut calories this week to make up for the amount of overeating that they did last week. Or they're going to be absolutely perfect this week and just crush this week to make up for doing so bad last week. It's like this mentality of they just really did so bad last week. So this week they're going to totally crush it, right? Not mess up at all. Wake up early and get a workout in, get an afternoon walk in, get an evening walk in, do an extra workout, just like go balls to the wall, right? And the problem with that is unachievable. You can't do that. And this is why we are stuck in this cycle. And so to all of my clients this morning, I have responded and said, hold up. We're not going to make up for anything. We're not going to double up. We're not going to beat up ourselves. We're not going to feel guilty. We're done with that. They hire me to teach them this new mindset of getting them out of this cycle of falling off track every weekend and starting on Monday and falling off track every holiday and starting on Monday. You don't have to, yes, you do have to start back up, of course, on Monday, but you don't have to make up for lost time. So in this episode, I'm very real, just talking to you as if you were one of my clients. I call bullshit on all of the things on the internet as far as tips and tricks and all the stuff to get through a holiday. That's why I really struggled with doing that episode on how to get through a holiday, because it's so per person. And I want you to feel so authentic with your choices. What did you do over the holiday that was so bad? Do you feel like you ate so bad because you didn't hit your macros or you went over your calories or you missed a couple of workouts, so you feel like you fell off track? Because I'm sure that you probably did fine. And even if you didn't, even if you totally sucked, you didn't get in any workouts, you ate like shit for 4 days in a row, who cares? It's over. You can't beat yourself up for it. You can't make up for it. It's done. So you didn't work out for a week. So you overate. Who cares? I hope you had the best time. Move on. Like, this is a new week. What we're not going to do is beat ourselves up. What we are going to do is say, okay, are there things that I could have done differently for Christmas that's coming up in 4 weeks? Maybe think about that, but also give yourself permission. I'll be honest, I ate way too much last week. Not even necessarily on the holiday, but like baking, and I was getting ready to start my period, which I didn't even know, but that was a big factor in it. But it doesn't matter. I ate so much sugar. If I could not stop eating. There were like 3 days last week I told my husband, I cannot stop eating. And it's not good food. It's very unhealthy processed food, which I don't really care. But like, I cannot stop eating. I gained 4 pounds. I'm feeling fluffy. I'm not happy about it, but also it's done. It's in the past. It's over, right? So going forward, what I'm going to do is be very conscious to not grab sugar or a cookie every time I want it. Not really in the mood for that right now anyway. That mood has passed, thank God. But I'm going to be very aware of that. I am going to hit my protein. I probably didn't hit my protein goal one freaking day last week, and it's fine. It is what it is. But this week, I'm getting in all my workouts. I'm hitting my protein goal. I'm going to get some extra steps in on my walking treadmill when I can, and I'm going to drink water. That's it. I'm not going to be mean to myself. I'm not going to try to hit every single macro. I'm already had 2 chocolates today. So like, it's not that I'm not having anything. I'm just cutting back and being more conscious. What I'm not doing is like I would in the past and be like, throw away all the leftovers. I'm only eating clean this whole week and I'm not missing another workout and I'm going to double up. And I did so bad and I'm so terrible and I probably gained all this fat and I'm so fat and all this negative shit that really doesn't matter. And so what I really want to stress to you about getting quote unquote back on track after a holiday or how to navigate after a holiday, realize that this is the cycle. Okay. This is the cycle that you're stuck in. This is the diet that you keep trying and failing and trying and failing. This is it. This is the cycle. So if today you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I really overdid it. I'm, still kicking my ass. It's Tuesday morning. I've still got to grind this week. Got to give it my everything. I did so bad, right? I'm all the things. And you're going to try to be perfect this week. Stop. This is how you stop the cycle. This is where it ends. Stop that mentality. What's done is done. I hope you had a great holiday. And chances are, if you didn't have time to work out and you were stuck on the couch, cuddled up and in a puppy chow coma like I was, good for you. I hope you had a great, relaxing holiday weekend. Now, eat your protein this week, get in your workouts, all of them, no excuses, and drink some water. That's it. That's how we're getting back on track. Because if you try to go from doing nothing last week to doing everything this week, everything perfect, doubling up workouts, meal prepping, meal planning, saying no to every, invitation that you get and just going balls to the wall, you're going to mess up. And if you were to have a 100%, successful week, you can't do that again next week and the next week and the next week. You have to get back to some sort of consistency, not punishing yourself. So we're not punishing ourselves. We're dropping the guilt. What's done is done. I hope you had a great holiday. Moving on, right? What can I do this week to set myself up for success this week? What can you actually do? Also, please remind yourself that you probably didn't gain as much weight as you feel like you did. Now, I just told you that I gained 4 pounds. Literally on the scale, I gained 4 pounds. I don't think that was all just last week because I don't weigh myself very often. But nevertheless, I'm up 4 pounds since a couple months ago, whatever. And that's not really my goal. So, but just in the holiday, if you, if you weigh every day and you weighed in on Wednesday, and then from Wednesday to like Sunday, you gained a couple pounds, that's carb weight, that's water weight. That's not a big deal. Get back to the basics and it will come off. You don't need to do obsessive cardio. You don't need to go crazy, right? You don't need to try to undo the damage that you've done to get, back to like some sort of perfection. Just get back to normal and your body will balance itself out. It's this cycle of falling all the way off and then trying to overcompensate and be perfect, and then not being able to be perfect, and then falling all the way off, and then trying to overcompensate. That's the cycle. That's your metabolism being like, how am I ever going to trust you when you're never showing me any consistency? Instead of falling off and jumping all the way back on, just stay on in the middle. Hang on for your dear life sometimes if you have to, but stay at that level line. Remind yourself that it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty. If you're following someone on social media that makes you feel like shit, that they're back to the grind and they're killing it and they're giving you all these specific tips to do after the holiday and it seems unreal, unachievable, it's because it is. You don't need any tips to get back on track after the holiday. If you really listen to your intuition, you know. When I finally started listening to what my body wanted on a holiday, I didn't even have to really overeat because I like protein. I like stuffing. I like mashed potatoes. I like pumpkin pie. I love a sweet potato casserole. When I'm done eating that, it's fine. It's over. Like and then I'll have it the next day for leftovers. I'll have it the next day for leftovers. And then it's gone. But like, I don't need to pig out and go crazy on it because I'm just listening to my body. And then this week to get back on track, if I'm listening to my body again, what my body is saying is I need to lift a little bit lighter weights because I'm not feeling super strong because I haven't freaking hit protein in a week. And I probably need a little more rest. Like I just need to ease back into my consistency. So that's what I'm doing. And that's what I really want for you is to be able to stop listening to everyone on the internet and everyone that you hear and watching your friends and wondering if you should try those things. Like, listen to yourself. Don't get mad at yourself because you enjoyed some time with your family. Don't be mad at yourself because you stayed up too late. You went to the movies and you had popcorn. You slept in for 3 days. Yes, I'm talking to myself. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, what you do most of the time matters, not on the holidays, right? So I just wanted to kind of give you my honest thoughts. And if you were my client coming to me, like a lot of my clients did this morning, and they're like, okay, I really didn't do great. I didn't track, or when I did track, it was way too much, or I'm just not, I'm not feeling really great today. I feel like I have a sugar hangover, like I'm in a sugar coma, like what? I'm not feeling good. And that's fine. It's totally fine. I'm giving you permission to not have to be perfect, to not beat yourself up, to say, good job. I'm glad you overate and you enjoyed your holiday. And honestly, in a few days, you won't even know that you really did that. I have a lot of clients who overate and they're like, wow, I didn't gain weight this holiday because they've been working up to that. But yeah, I mean, how good is that to just go to the holiday, party, get together, whatever, eat what you want, not have to overeat because you can eat it again the next day if there's leftovers, who cares? And then get up and maybe go for a little walk, jump on the scale. Maybe you're up a pound, maybe you're the same. It's fine to focus on other things. So again, I'm just giving you my actual thoughts of what I would say to you if you were my client. This is exactly what I would say. But the most important thing I want you to take away from this is you have permission to not jump all the way in and beat yourself up this week. Going balls to the wall, quote unquote, making up for last week, all of that stuff is unnecessary. It's not helpful. And the realization that this is it, this is the cycle that you keep getting stuck in. This is the exact cycle that you are trying to get out of. And you keep getting stuck in it. Like, this is it. This awareness of this cycle stopping right here is huge, okay? So if we take this week, we get back on track gradually, we stay on track gradually. Then when Christmas comes, we practice these same tips that I talked about in last week's episode about enjoying a holiday. You start listening to your body, you start having different goals, you get through Christmas, you're coasting, right? You're not way down and falling off the wagon, and you're not overcompensating and way up. You're just hanging on, being very consistent through the holidays. And then after that, it's kind of like smooth sailing. For myself, this week, if you do want to start macro tracking, if you're tired of experiencing the guilt and not knowing, I remember those days too of before I started macro tracking, I didn't know if I overate. And I think that was a huge eye opener for me. It was like, I felt like the stuffing was bad. The mashed potato, God, carbs were terrible, right? The sweet potato casserole, the pumpkin pie, like it seems like every single one of those foods is quote unquote bad or carbs or whatever. I don't know what the verbiage is anymore because I don't really believe it, but I guess it's just bad. You think those foods are bad and you shouldn't have them, at least not that much of them. But if you were to track, right, a half cup of mashed potatoes, a half cup of stuffing, a half cup of pumpkin pie, a slice of pumpkin pie, like whatever you track it as, when you see it out in front of you, you're like, oh, it's just carbs. Have a protein shake before you go to bed and balance that out. It's okay. When you see it for what it is, when you see food for what it is, macros, carbs, proteins, fats, it becomes not so good and bad, and it becomes just food. And so that was really helpful for a lot of my ladies too that did track through the holidays. They did see that they overate, but they did say that even though I did overeat, it's not as much as I would have thought had I not tracked. So if you do want to just, kind of quote unquote, get back on track this week with something, choose protein. Start hitting your protein goal, which is 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight. So if you would love to weigh 150 pounds, try to consume 150 grams of protein every single day this week, and spend some of that time that you would be, beating yourself up on your drive home. Instead of beating yourself up for how bad you feel, maybe you could make a little voice note to yourself when you get home to look up protein ideas and to start meal planning, or voice into your phone some protein ideas, right? I love the voice memo option on your phone, by the way. I think it's really nice in the moment to be able to just leave myself little notes. Anyways, so that is my permission for you this week. I know this was kind of a strange episode in the sense that I'm just kind of giving it to you straight, but I think it's important because this is, like I've said twice already, this is the cycle that you are stuck in. And if you notice that and you can get out of it and make a conscious effort to end the cycle and just get back to your consistency and stop beating yourself up, that's a huge win in your journey. So again, I hope you had a great holiday if you celebrated. I hope you're being kind to yourself this week. I hope this episode really helped you in the sense that you don't have to feel bad. It's fine. I hope that you can turn that around actually, and I hope you can realize that you really were able to enjoy the holiday. And if you haven't yet experienced the food freedom around the holidays, make that your goal for Christmas, the Christmas season, or the next holiday that you celebrate. Make that your goal so that when you do have a birthday party, you do have a get together, you do have barbecues this summer, you can experience that food freedom. Make it your goal to stop that cycle right now so that you can experience these happy times in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.